Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. On first down, it's Roethlisberger. And they can't bring him down. And oh, this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. That one goes for 24 yards.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part.
It's caught inside the 25. Now that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Here's Roethlisberger. Dancing to his left. Throw left side is complete to Rodgers. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw again is Roethlisberger, escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
It's a 47-yard punt, but they did give up 10 on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Balaj. Got some room at the 30, and all the way up to the 37-yard line. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10.
Watch it now, Barney, Barney.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins 1st down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
They'll run here with Balaj. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down. So back-to-back big runs picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Going deep here for Stills. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And he'll take it all the way up near the 30-yard line. Stills the intended target.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. Goes underneath for Bell. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On 3rd and 1, it's Roethlisberger. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at the 15. Shoving through the defense. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And out come the Dolphins now. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ryan Shazier coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
I know there would be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. But that's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. On 2nd down, Jackson. Buying time to his left. Now he'll let this one go. Deep left sideline. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Switch.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Watch him now, Barney. Gone! Detroit! Detroit!
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. He sets to fire deep. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And he'll bring this all the way up to the 45-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
After the interception, here's Roethlisberger. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball. It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
That'll go as a loss of 9, and it leads to third down. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on third and long. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And give him a gain of 37. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. This is Bell on the dump off. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 9 yards. And it'll be second and about a yard.
What's up? 59, what's up? 59, what's up?
Now Roethlisberger going to hand to Bell. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
That was an example of excellent defense there. They stuffed them. So now he brings up a third down situation. If I'm calling plays here, I make sure I put it in the hands of my quarterback and get it to a receiver real fast. I'm not running the ball here.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. A gain of 6 there on first.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now it's Roethlisberger. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. In for the score. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Gun! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Watch him now, Barney.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Detroit! Gun! Over!
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December, right? It is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating a certain amount.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Le'Veon Bell with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Jakeem Grant now to return. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So now here come the Dolphins. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Gun! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Watch him now, Barney.
To throw is Jackson. Going to throw again. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Gun! Over! Watch him now, Barney.
On 3rd down, Jackson. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. On 4th down, Matt Hawk to punt it away. Pulled in at the 24. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50. 1st and 10. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 46. Roethlisberger will throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
2nd and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Raekwon McMillan coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Wide open receiver complete. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Ben to throw again. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And Boswell's kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Ah!
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. Being chased out left. Now he'll let this one go deep, right sideline. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Steps away to his left. He goes underneath the Drake. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Gun, gun. Gun, gun.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. He's got his man, it's Andrews. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Hold the look, hold the look, hold. Watch him now, Barney, Barney.
To throw again is Jackson. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The intended receiver was Jakeem Grant, and it's 3rd and short.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Now Jackson. It's complete to Grant. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Jackson on 1st down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This from 54 yards away. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger. Forced out to his left. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And incomplete on the deep ball. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the 2nd half. This one taken from the center. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Umpire through the flag usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Detroit! Detroit!
Jackson from the shotgun. Dancing to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. He's got a man. Complete. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, there's simply no sense in wasting a great catch like that on a short gain. Get downfield like you just did there and use it up that way.
No dink and dunk. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45.
Detroit! Detroit!
On the toss, here's Balazs. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Lucky 56! Detroit! 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 Detroit!
Now Jackson on 2nd down. Flushed out right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Play. Hey, 20.
Now it's the backup Tannehill. That is caught. It's Perriman. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the red zone now, here's Jackson on first down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be a second down. Now Balaj. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Stephon Tuitt, the one that got him down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Jackson looking to throw on third. It'll be a loss of 15 on the play, and it'll be fourth down. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. The kick by Sanders is good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Now a first down carry by Bell. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On second down, it's Bell. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
3rd and 2. Now Roethlisberger. Flush to his right. He's looking deep for Bell. So they took a shot there on 3rd down. Couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
They're going on 4th down. It's Roethlisberger. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll go back to the ground with Bell. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. Now Bell hit. He lost the football. Back now in Miami. And the Steelers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And that is out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Got him in. It's Brashad Perriman. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Buying time to his left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. Eluding the pressure right. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. Being chased out left. And he's got Moncrief. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big 30-yard play on 3rd.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. That's going to go as a loss of a full 8 yards. And it sets him back for 2nd down. Now, before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. That's going to leave him with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter.
Lucky 56. Gun!
On 2nd down, Jackson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Trying to get it that time to Stills.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Roethlisberger going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. That's caught inside the 20. A gain of 39 that time.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover one. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Le'Veon Bell with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the interception by the Steeler D leads to a touchdown. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. They'll stay on the ground. Barrage again. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big run there, 29 yards and a 1st.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
They run it with Balaj. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. Balaj. And he'll go down at the 28. So just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Down right around the 25. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a handoff looking right. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Again, it's Balaj. And he'll be brought down with the 1st down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. Here's a run with Balaj. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, They had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for Pittsburgh, the win moves them a couple games over 500 now at 7-5. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins,